Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be replacing my head unit on my Toyota Alphard Series 10 with a new unit. So this is the Chinese unit that I had on before, which is simply plug and play. I'm going to go over to the top of it because this may come in useful for people who are doing who are looking for the connections. I'm just going to go over there and show you what the connections are on this one. Now, interestingly, you can see the size of this Chinese one is quite large, quite heavy, and it's got the full depth. Nowadays they're usually half the depth of that. Okay, so they can be made a lot smaller, and that gives you more space to maneuver your cables, etc. So this is the original Chinese unit that came out, and it had all the functionality. It had a DVD player, so it's a mechanized one. Nowadays they're going to mechanless ones, which don't have any of the DVDs, etc. And it's got the radio, it's got maps, it's got Android app capability. So that one's came out because it failed after 3 years. The new one is quite a different beast altogether. The screen on this unit here, which is the Bosnian unit, is about 7 inches. This one's a 9-inch screen. They get that additional screen by taking out the old fascia from the panel and replace it with a new fascia, which is wider than the original aperture. But look at this, look how thin the unit is at the back. Now that is not very thick at all. There's not a lot of depth in that. You can see my fingers next to that, and there's not a lot of depth. So it's only about a ½ inch. Connections at the back, you've got an antenna there. You've got your coaxial and optical cables going out. You've got your little fuse in there, and then you've got a series of connectors which connect up. On this side you have your GPS antenna, and I'm not sure what antenna that is next to it. Anyway, I'll have a look at that later on. I can't. Oh, it's your 4G antenna. So this is considerably lighter than the old unit, and that worries me because I always like a little bulk of electronics. It just feels nicer, it feels better. This one's got an OLED screen as well, so that's a much more modern screen. This one is supposed to be very receptive to touch. Some of the cheaper models aren't as receptive to touch, but you have to look at the details of what you're buying. I've got this DAB radio on it as well, because what I found with the other model was an FM radio was not ideal. And the other thing I got was this little camera that will sit on your dashboard and just basically film all the events, etc. in front of you. Also, it can be used as a lane changing camera as well, so just making sure that you're not drifting across. The other things you can get for this one is you can also get a 360 degrees parking sensors, which fit underneath the headlights. Not the headlights, sorry. They fit underneath the grille and on the rear boot, and also under the wings. So you can buy those separately. You can also buy tire pressure monitors for these things as well, so you can monitor your tire pressure. With this, it also comes with all the cables now for this. This is the Series 10, early Series 10, so you got to make sure that you buy the right fascia for that series. The later ones have 4 buttons here and 4 buttons here. I'm not sure how this all goes together into the original fascia, but I'll work it out later. One thing to note is that the absence of instructions on this, so you're really gonna have to work out yourself. If you haven't got a touch screen, so if you haven't got steering controls, then it does come with a steering control unit, but Alphard all have steering controls, so we're going to hopefully get those working. In addition, it also comes with a little camera, which is somewhere, and you've got your speaker over here as well, and there's the camera as well, which for the life of me I can't see. Here we go. Here's a rear camera, which is a high definition camera. For additional fiber, you can get it with parking lines. I never quite understood parking lines, so I'm just going for this high definition camera. I'm just going to pop that in. It is bound to be an improvement on the one that I've got just now, which doesn't have the colors as colorful as I would like them. So that's something else I'll replace and run the cable. There's enough length of cable on that to actually make it work. With this head unit, can also add additional cameras output. Also, you see a screen output to, let's say, rear cameras and the headrest, etc. So that's what this is so far, and I'm going to be installing it. Tomorrow I will show you how the install goes, and hopefully it will sound as good as it promises to. It's got a 5x40, and I'll give you the full specs of that as well. later on. But it's got 5 times 40 RMS. Well, they say actually RMS, but I think it's actually peak music output. I don't know how strong that is, but there's enough space left over at the back of the head unit to put an amplifier right in there and do it a very quick, clean, and easy additional power output. Okay, so let's see how this goes, and I'll do it stage by stage, starting tomorrow by assembling the fascia unit and putting this in it. Okay.